It has just gone 8 o'clock. We do have a quorum. I see Member Bartman, Member Maseko, and Mr. Madden in the meeting. Member Madden.
Good. So thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrikus van der Westhuizen. I'm the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Agriculture, as well as Environmental Affairs and Development Planning. And I wish to welcome you one and all at our meeting here this morning. Our agenda for today is to deliberate on vote 11, agriculture, in the schedule to the Western Cape Second Adjustments Appropriation 2020. And I welcome you one and all, honourable members. Can I just give you an opportunity to also introduce yourselves before we go over to our guests? Please do so now.
Deirdre Bartman.
Matlhodi Maseko.
Pittman.
Danville Smith.
Good, thank you, and welcome also to Honourable Smith, who is an alternate member to this committee. Honourable Smith, you're always welcome. Dear Minister, thank you very much also for joining us here this morning. I see your name is on the list, and perhaps you would just like to also introduce yourself and also the officials from your department.
Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning, members of the committee, and thank you for this opportunity. And we're looking forward to engage with the Standing Committee. Thank you.
Good, thank you, Minister, and you're always most welcome. I also wish to welcome and acknowledge the HOD, Dr. Sebo Petsa, the acting CEO of Casidra. I see has also joined us, Mr. Freek van Styl. If you don't mind, I'm not going to allow everybody in the meeting to introduce themselves today. We unfortunately are highly limited in our time. We only have 45 minutes for this meeting, and there are many other meetings that will be following on this one. And if we exceed our time, unfortunately, it's going to have a knock-on effect for the whole of the day, also affecting many other committees that need to meet on the hour later today. So, honourable members, with that, Minister, if I could give you an opportunity now to do the introductions and make some opening remarks. And please, as I've said to all our guests, just keep in mind that we've got only 45 minutes, not only for the presentations, but also for the deliberations, questions, etc. by the honourable members. So thank you very much, Dr. Meyer, and if you would proceed, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Given the time constraints, I will be very brief. We have the honour and the privilege to appear before the Standing Committee to present the Western Cape Adjustment Appropriation Bill 2020. And given the current situation that we find ourselves in the country, you will see some reductions, and these reductions are very critical for us because it does affect the agricultural outputs. But given the adjustment budget, we are still sticking to our 5 ministerial priorities. We think it is still possible, given the budget constraints, to continue with the 5 strategic priorities, albeit some in a limited format. But for us, the focus is still clear: provide structured training, education and training, and particularly research, are very important. Secondly, to continue with farmer support, and also the issue of rural safety as far as very critical, and also the issue of climate change. For us, that is very, very fundamental. But also, given where we find ourselves in the country, we need also to continue with our export and our particularly market access for both commercial farmers and small-scale farmers. This is still intact. So when we present the appropriation budget, we are determined and will be able to continue to focus on the ministerial priorities. With that, Chair, I would very much like to hand over back to you. The HOD will then lead the bulk of the discussions together with the CFO, and thank you for this opportunity.
Honourable Minister, thank you very much for your introductory remarks. Dr. Sebopetsa, before you hand over to Mr. Floris Huyshamer, are there any opening remarks that you would like to make?
Chair, thank you very much, and to the members. I have been talking to my CFO and the team here, and we decided today that I'll take you through the presentation. I think Minister had covered some good ground in terms of the priorities and the fact that the budget cuts will have some influence in some of them, but we remain focused on the course in terms of what we committed to do. And if you don't mind, Chair, I want to move straight into the presentation.
Thank you very much. Then Mr. Huyshamer.
All right, Chair. Thank you very much. I'm actually logged in using Mr. Huyshamer's laptop, but I'm going to do the presentation today, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you very much. You can proceed.
Chair, thank you very much again for the opportunity. We thought we need to show you this slide that indicates the fact that the Western Cape government has entered an economic recovery mode. And those are the three priorities that have been so identified: jobs, safety, and well-being. And all those would lead to the dignity of the citizens of the Western Cape. Now, just very quickly, in terms of the additional funding and the cuts, we had a rollover of 2 million rands for phase 1 of modernization of the Elsenburg building. That's the headquarters where we are. 1.773 million rands was mainly used towards the purchasing of 100,000 masks for the agri workers. Conditional cuts grants. We had 1.042 million of cash that was cut. Ilima, just below 500,000 rands, and a land care of 60,000 rands. With regards to the additional funding that we had received, emphasis obviously goes to the priorities. In this case, is jobs and well-being. 16.825 million towards our food security program. Members would know that given the COVID, there's been an impact in society in terms of the access part around food security, and our One Home, One Garden campaign will be funded through the 16.825 million. 8.5 million for transformation and farmer protection support, particularly in the wine industry. 9.6 million upgrading of irrigation infrastructure for 153 smallholder farmers to establish Lucerne on 80 plots, and this is in the community of Ebenezer up in the Matikama municipality. Now, additional funding again, National Disaster Management Committee had given us 25 million for fodder relief, and that money had already been expended on. We're also instructed to cut 18.869 million rands. That was an instruction from National Treasury. This has to do with the living cost of living increases for staff. We have had to surrender 2.876 million for the class and hostel fees at the college. Obviously, members would know that the college was closed from towards the end of March up to the end of June, and we were to surrender that allocation. Internal reprioritization, 12 million was made available towards the maintenance of over 1,333 jobs within the wine tourism sector, 6.7 million for research and farming equipment. This is really just to show exactly where this money had been shifted and what additional funding had come per program. You'd also note that when we started the year, on the 1st of April, our budget was 970,556. With the first adjustment, we went to 888,419 million rands. And we are now with this second adjustment, our budget is now moved to 928,803. And the figures I mentioned above, you can see exactly what happened per program on this particular slide. This one really is just to indicate per economic classification what had happened. You look at the cost of living, cost of employees, 18,869. That is the instruction from the DAF. The transfers around 34,950, and your capital assets of 2 million rands. And I think it takes us to 928,803, which is the adjusted budget with the second adjustments. We thought also, Chair, that it was important that we take this opportunity just to indicate to you and the committee as to some of the things that have been happening in agriculture in terms of our response given the COVID. We continued obviously with our services given that food value chain was declared an essential service. Immediately, we provided support to farmers with the funding called COVID-19 disaster relief. We went on with our food garden program. In fact, our target for this budget was 800 food gardens in terms of your household gardens. And with the increased allocation, we're looking at over 5,000 gardens that will be reached. Online training at the Elsenburg College, and we'll be graduating our students during the middle of December, which means that that intervention already assisted. Food parcels, we worked in the humanitarian cluster, distribution of milk. Our two farms, both the Elsenburg farm and the Otenikwa, we made available milk to the value of 100,000 rands that contributed to supporting the vulnerable among us. With respect to the 100-day deliverables, 2,000 households are planned additional to what we've already achieved to date, and 420 person days through the ecological infrastructure program, 120 graduates to be appointed before the end of December, establishment of the rural safety desk. And Chair, I'm happy to indicate to you and the members that that desk will be operational by the end of December. That is how far we have moved around this. With regards to short-term responses, the wine tourism, I referred to it in the presentation around the 12 million, the transformation and farmer protection program, the Lucent program up in Matikama. With regards to the long-term response, we are busy with the post-COVID strategy, and that will be available already by next week, Monday. The future of farming in arid areas, 31st March is our target. We also are working with national, that's agricultural and reform and rural development on the agriculture, agri-processing master plan. Chairperson, thank you very much. We thought we needed to make it brief so that we can allow the committee space to ask whatever questions you may have. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sebusetsa, and thank you very much for being so brief, as I requested initially. It's really being appreciated. Mr. Sebusetsa, can I just ask, is the Casidra forms part of your budget, so there won't be a separate or a presentation from their side? Would they like to add anything to your presentation?
Yeah, I would rather have the CFO response to that, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there'll be anything, but let's rather give the CFO, the CEO a chance to speak. Mr. Fansel. Thank you, Chair.
Good morning, Chairperson. Thank you very much. No, there's nothing to be added currently from our side.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fansel. Honourable members, there you've had the presentation by the department. Are there any questions from your side? Can I please see by raise of hands if there are any members that would like? I see, sorry, let me just, I see Honourable Bartman's hand is raised. Let me just quickly scroll down the list at this point. Also Honourable Maseku. So Honourable Bartman, then Honourable Maseku, and thereafter I'll take further hands. Over to you.
Thank you, Chair. And firstly, thank you so much for the Department of Agriculture for presenting this budget. It is, having read through it, is quite ambitious, but ambitious is never necessarily a bad thing. It's wonderful that we are trying to do our best in order to mitigate some of the impact that COVID and the regulations has had on the people of the Western Cape. Firstly, on page 302 of the budget, Chair, as well as which was indicated in the presentation, we are giving 25 million rand to in terms of provincial relief funding for the drought, for the Central Karoo, and for the garden route. And I just want to specifically find out what type of drought funding will it be? Will it be fodder again, or is this part of the previous funding that has been allocated? And then I just also want to congratulate the minister and the team for allocating 11 million rand as 11.5 million rand subsidy to the wine industry for wine tourism, because this particular industry really has suffered enough due to a lot of the irrational regulations. And then on page 294 of the budget, it indicates there that there's 100,000 rand donation that will go to UWC for the 4IR response plan. And I just wanted to find out if there's any particular details for that. And then I also just wanted to congratulate the minister and department on page 300, where I saw that 100,000 rand donation will be given for the assistance of small-scale cheese farmers. And perhaps if they can just indicate to us in which region of the Western Cape that will be, as well as page 306 of the budget, where they've indicated that 10 million rand will be spent for for tissue culture facility construction. And I just want to understand when this commencement will occur. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And then over to Honourable Maseko. I trust that Dr. Sebopetsa is making notes of the questions.
Thank you, Chair. I think, Chair, I don't have a lot of questions. I think Member Bartman already have covered me. Just one quick one. It will be to congratulate department. I think this department is one of the departments that have sort of hold our hands to go through after the abnormal that happened of the COVID-19, that they've worked with us as they were trying to normalize the abnormal. And really, we cannot, as a standing committee, expect normal outcomes in abnormal circumstances. So how they are reacting is what is adding value for us to see how we can anticipate to see the value that they do add within our communities, because totally we depend on them with their food security. I just want one question from them, because I have seen that in Western Cape, the expected in-migration gross inflow of people, it will be from 2016 to 2021, and the anticipation is for about 568 of people that will be moving in. So for the food security, it sort of gives a red flag of, with the abnormal circumstances that we do have of COVID-19, is the department going to be able, with the farmers, give the support that is enough for us to have enough to also accommodate that, and keeping in mind the allocation that comes within our province that is really not reacting to the population numbers that we do have in Western Cape. I think that's the only thing that I have, but I have to congratulate the department also in every step that they're taking in assisting our farmers during these trying times. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Maseko. And honourable members, unfortunately, I was temporarily kicked out of this meeting due to poor network. I'm sitting in the office today. I don't see any other hands at this point in time. So if you would just allow me 3 questions. The first one is about not the budget, but the budget must be supported by capacity. We are very fortunate in that some of that this department is one of few that are getting some additional funds with this second adjustment. And my first question is, Dr. Sebupetsa, are you satisfied that the necessary checks and balances have been adopted in terms of the wine tourism workers stipend that is now being introduced? The second one is also, and that there is enough water for the Lucerne at Ibn Ayezer, even should, they have a very dry summer going forward. And then the last question from my side is also in terms of your capacity to roll out the vegetable gardens, for which we're now also grateful to have received a significant additional amount. Do you have the human resource capacity to deal with all of this? Because I do think that there are also some constraints in terms of human resources and new appointments in the public sector, etc. Those from my side. Honourable Baran, I recognize your hand as well.
Thanks, Chairperson, and good morning to everyone. Chair, I also got 2 or 3 questions. The first one is the support that's given to the wine and tourism industry. Chair, and if my understanding is correct, is to assist some workers with a stipend. Because I agree that the tourism industry was seriously affected by the pandemic that we are currently facing. Now, Chair, I just wanted to check, if we are saying that we're going to give support to workers and pay them a stipend, how will it happen? You know that we have seen, for instance, through the UIF and the Temporary Employment Relief Scheme, where employers have applied for assistance for their workers. Some of those monies have never reached those workers. So if the department is gonna give support to those workers, we would like to understand how it will happen, Chair. How it will happen. In some cases, all charges laid against some of employers where they have applied but never paid over the money to their workers. We don't want to see a similar situation. We need to know that where the money is going and how it will reach those particular workers. Even so, Chair, that the UIF have decided now to pay those monies directly into the accounts of those workers. That's the one. Chair, the second one, Chair, is the support that will be given to smallholder farmers in Matsikama, and I think correctly stated by yourself is that there is some water issues and some of those plots don't have water. Whether the department will assist them to get water connections onto their farms. That's the one. Then, Chair, there was another one. We have spent, Chair, since the beginning of the pandemic, quite an amount of money was spent on the protection wear PPE for farm workers, Chair. And I remember the minister at some states have mentioned the amount of masks, for instance, that was provided for workers, sanitizers and so forth. Chair, we have seen over the last couple of days, Chair, a huge spike in infections within certain areas. And where I am staying, Chair, the Dorings, for instance, has suddenly become one of the hotspots within the province. Brede Valley Municipality have sent out yesterday a notice warning people to be proactive and to make sure that they wear masks, sanitize their hands, keep their distances. What we are currently seeing, Chair, again, is the transportation of workers. We are at the beginning of the season. The transportation of workers without masks on trucks, no sanitizers. Trucks are overloaded, and we foresee, Chair, that in the next couple of weeks, this thing might even, it will be a disaster. So we would like to know, Chair, we know what the department have done at the beginning of this. What measures has been put in place by the department to make sure that they're going to assist the agricultural sector in terms of making sure that the spread of the disease won't be like going into the fire season also. It won't be an impossible fire, Chair, to put out when. So I just like to understand, Chair, and maybe, Chair, let me stop there. If there is, I think that, yeah, there will be follow up after this. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Honourable Maran. Honourable Marais, I see your hand as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Chairman. Chairman, I am very upbeat since the Minister, National Minister, indicated that they are busy with the transfer of these Trankra, the implementation of a Trankra Act, whereby almost 23 farms and huge areas will be transferred to the communities, colored communities, after they've had referendums in those areas. And that she contemplates that this will be completed by February, March next year. The whole thing will be completed, and these farms from Peneel, Wuppertal, all those areas will be in the hands of those communities. Now my question to the Minister, how prepared are you if that should happen, that those people will become viable communities in an agricultural sense, in terms of their training, farming methods that they employ, financing them? Because I know that the agricultural budget has been cut in the appropriation bill. And so have you got any vision about the future of these areas after March next year? Because if this is going to happen in February, March, with the transfer of all those communal lands, trust lands, from a government trust to a community trust, then we should have a plan how we're going to assist those people. And I hope the Minister would have had plans to accommodate those needs in the medium term. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Marais. Dr. Sebupetsa, over to you.
Chair, thank you very much. And thanks to the members for the questions. I've got a very capable team here, and we'll work together in responding to the questions. I want to start with Member Bartman's question around the 25 million. That was mainly for fodder relief in Matikama, the Karoo, and some of the clay Karoo. And I must also indicate that all that money has already been spent. We had approached the National Disaster Management Committee last year already to request for that, and we received it early this year. That is already spent. The question on the fourth IR, I'm going to ask Derek to respond to that. And there was also a question, Chair, on the tissue culture. I've requested Dr. Trautmann, who's also in the room, to respond to that. Member Maseko, thank you very much. Your question really is about food security and the extent to which we are ready as a province, given the number of people coming to the Western Cape. I think the only thing we know how to do is to continue to support farmers, both subsistence farmers, smallholder farmers, and commercial farmers, so that themselves will continue ensuring that they produce food. And the issue of food insecurity in our province, largely, it is not really the issue of lack of available food. is the fact that people haven't got the purchasing power to access the available food. And with our One Home, One Garden, it's an attempt to lessen their dependence on purchased food. And we'll continue with that intervention because we think it works, and the results are out there to show in terms of what it has done. Honorable Chair, you raised 3 questions, and I'll respond to the wine tourism stipend. Yes, there are checks and balances, but I'm going to ask my CFO to respond to that. Your other question was about whether there is water up in Matikama, in Ebenezer. We just concluded a dam in that area that has taken about 3 to 4 years to build with National Agriculture and Land Reform assisting us. And that will also react to that. Your other question was about whether we have the necessary capability to deliver. The reality of the matter is that as government, we will never have enough people on the payroll of the state. And that is why we then major on partnering with like-minded people out there to work with us. The truth is, without partnerships and cooperation and collaboration with the industry and NGO sector within the food security space, we will never be able to achieve what we continue to achieve. Just to also indicate to the members, and a good example is in the agricultural extension space, we only have the capacity we need in the Western Cape. But because of the partnership arrangements we have and the collaborative efforts we put with the industry partners, we are able to do what we do. And therefore, that is what we're going to continue to do to strengthen those partnership arrangements to be able to achieve what we needed to achieve. Member Meren, your question was on how the workers are going to apply for this stipend. I'm going to ask my CFO to also attend to that. Your other question was also the same one with that the chair raised around whether there is enough water up in Matikama. I've already indicated a dam was concluded, and there is great work happening there. Your third question was about the spiking in terms of the infection rate, and we are concerned about it. You would also know that Minister, Mayor, and myself are champions together with Mayor von Schlicht in the Cape Winelands, and we're monitoring the situation quite well around COVID. But the truth of the matter really is that all of us have got to take responsibility. So wherever we are, we need to push the message in society for people to behave in the manner that will starve this virus so that it doesn't move. As to what support we give to the agricultural sector to deal with the virus, I'm happy to indicate again to this committee that we have a stakeholder engagement championed by the Deputy Director General, Mr. Jacobs, who on weekly or bi-weekly basis engage with the industry, and these issues are raised very sharply with the industry. But what we need is for citizens, both business, government, civil society, and everybody in the space, that we take responsibility and ensure that indeed people behave in the manner that it will allow us as a province to disrupt the spread. Member Mare, your question around the Trankra transfer and what vision do we have about it? The truth of the matter is that we'll continue to support those with the existing partnership arrangements. What we know for sure we will not have is the fact that there is never going to be budget increases probably for the next 5 years. And therefore we do need to go out there and partner with the like-minded people to provide the support we can. And luckily we have a track record over the years of working with the industry and the private sector in general to achieve what we need to achieve. So we're going to be spending a lot of time in investing on those relationships so that we can be able to deliver on our mandate as a department. I'm going to ask my team in the following order: the CFO, then Derek Trotsky, and then Ilse Trautmann. and Dara Jacobs in that order. If there's anything, just to respond quickly to the question. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Sebupetsa. May I just point out that we've got about 5 minutes, because we need about 5 minutes at the very end to consider the report and for deliberations. So if you could all be as brief as possible, hopefully we will be able to engage further and longer in the future. So over then to, I think you said first, Mr. Huyshamer.
Chair, thank you. Yes, that's me. Well, your question and Member Maran's question is basically the same thing that goes about the control and how do we make sure it gets to the right hands. I've had yesterday a final meeting actually with Winpro, and the decision was they will get names up front within conditions as set out by us, and then the payment will be made actually ex post facto. What I mean by that is they will get 3 payments or payment after 3 payments, and that means the farm or the farmer or the farm will first pay those names that has been controlled, and we will get a copy actually of the payment advice and acceptance by the person that gets the pay, and then the farmer will be refunded. So in other words, they will be paid first, and on evidence of the payment having been done, the money will be done afterwards. So there is, as far as I'm concerned, and having looked into it with audit eyes, there is actually in this one virtually no risk, because it's not that big an amount, it's not that big number of people, and the controls are well with Winpro and between them and the farmers. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Huyshamer. Then over to Dr. Trotsky, I believe.
Yes, thank you very much. Basically, I've got 2 questions to respond to, and I'm very passionate about both issues, so you must rein me in if I speak too much. In terms of the 100,000 donation on the 4th IR, this is part of our exercise to embrace the 4th Industrial Revolution. This money went to the University of the Western Cape, and the Western Cape University is the only institution in South Africa with a postgraduate course in augmented reality or virtual reality. So we donated this to this particular course so that they can, in part of their studies, apply these technologies to the agricultural sector. For instance, for the agricultural sector to be able to use this on the one hand, but also for the students on the other hand to realize how interesting agriculture is and the potential out of it. So some of the applications was one application, for instance, on tractor maintenance that can be used by the college at Elsenburg. And another example is in terms of bringing the wine farm to the consumer at the end of the bottle. So that's the one issue. The second issue is about the water in Ebenezer, which was raised by both the chair, Mr. Moran and Mr. Moret. So Ebenezer gets its water from the Klein Willem Dam, and Ebenezer is right at the end of this canal system. The problem in the past was that this water could not be distributed effectively to the 153 plot holders. So with the Department of Rural Development at that stage, now the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, we developed a bulk irrigation system that is being completed. We are currently busy with the on-farm pipelines on these 153 plots. And the intention is then to establish Lucerne on these plots. So the water is there, it's a new initiative. And to come back to Mr. Moret's question, Ebenezer is Trankra land. That land has been given to the CPA a couple of years back. So this is one of our initiatives to develop the Trankra land and to get these farmers their first startup. So I can go on for much longer, but let me stop here.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Dr. Trautmann.
Chairperson, members, good morning. Just in a nutshell, the tissue culture facility, which is located just outside Paarl, has been set up by the deciduous fruit industry and being managed by Woodgrow. Our 10 million that we have given to that project has unlocked another 35 million, bringing that project to a total of close to 45 million rand. About 75% of the building, tunnels and laboratory space have been completed. We had a formal opening with Minister Meyer on the 5th of November. We saw all the infrastructure that's already in place, and by end of March, the facility will be in total operation, and the 10 million that we have given will be spent by that point in time. Thank you.
Chairperson, good morning, and members. I just want to deal with the issue of the presentation around Trankram, and we were also quite intrigued by it. We're working closely with the National Department of Agriculture, Rural Development and Land Reform, where we're tracking those timelines, because obviously it does have implications in terms of the kind of support that we need to be providing. So I just want to give Minister Member Marais the assurance that we are working closely with the National Department around just the tracking of those timelines as was presented about 2 weeks back to the Standing Committee. Thank you, Chair and members.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. And honourable members, unfortunately, there won't be an opportunity for a second round of questions. We've only got 4 minutes left. Are there anybody else in this meeting who would like to comment on the budget or the presentation? If not, honourable members, I want to say thank you very much to you that posed the questions, also to the department for its response. I don't know if the HOD would like to make any concluding or closing remarks before we consider our view on the budget.
Chair, thank you very much. I think from my side is just to thank you and the members for the continued support. We will do what we need to do to support the sector. We are committed to the priorities of the Western Cape government, and yeah, we'll do what we need to do. And thank you again. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sebopetsa, and thank you for the presentation. It made our work much easier, taking into account the time constraints. So, honourable members, to you then, we must now express our view on the budget vote, and I'm open to take any proposals from the floor. Thank you. I see a hand. Honourable Marais, Honourable Bartman, and Honourable Marais, you spoke first.
Yes, I think that under the circumstances of budget cuts all the way, in general, I think that the Agricultural Department should receive the full support of this committee for a vision for agriculture and what they intend to do, especially with those areas where there's water challenges. And I think that we should support this minister in his endeavours and thank them for a very well designed report on what they intend to do over the medium term. That's all I can say. We can't expect them to do more with less money.
Thank you, Mr. Marais. I see Honourable Bartman, you're recognised.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to second supporting this particular vote.
Good, thank you, honourable members. I've got a proposal that we support this budget vote. Are there any other views on this? Good, so honourable members, it seems then to me as if the committee's view as this budget vote is supported. Honourable Maran?
Yeah, Chair, no, I try to raise my hand and then maybe there's someone that switch it off when I raise it, lower it. Look, Chair, yes.
It's raised now, thank you.
Yeah, it's raised now. I'm going to lower it because I'm speaking. Yes. Chair, although the ANC supports some of these programs, we does not support all. Chair, because there is a couple of concerns, and the mere fact that we could not raise follow-ups also, Chair, makes it difficult for us to support at this moment, Chair. Therefore, our view, Chair, in terms of is for at this stage is not to support. Our view might be changed as we are moving towards the sitting.
Good. Thank you, Honourable Maran. Honourable members, I didn't recognize earlier Ms. Niekerk, our procedural officer, and I trust she is already now capturing what was expressed here in this meeting. Ms. Niekerk, the moment you are ready, won't you just beam up the report so that we can see it and then consider it as a committee?
There we go, Chairperson.
Good. Thank you. So I'm just going to read this so that it's also being read into the record of this meeting. Report of the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Environmental Affairs and Development Planning on Vote 11, Agriculture in the schedule to the Western Cape Second Adjustments Appropriation Bill, B7 of 2020, dated the 27th of November 2020 as follows. The Standing Committee on Agriculture, Environmental Affairs and Development Planning, having deliberated on the subject of Vote 11, Agriculture, in the schedule to the Western Cape Second Adjustments Appropriation Bill, B7 2020, referred to in accordance with Standing Rule 188, reports that it supports the vote, and in accordance with Standing Rule 90, the African National Congress expressed its minority view that it does not support the vote. I don't know if that is quite capturing what you wanted to say, Honourable Maran. Are you happy? Did I hear you that you actually don't want to express a view at this point in time? Honourable Maran? Can it go like that?
Yeah, Chair.
You're
Sorry.
unmuted? Yes.
No, I'm unmuted, Chair. Yes. Our view, Chair, as per Rule 90 of the Standing Rules, Chair, that it should be reflected within the committee's report.
Okay, but what is on the screen? You're happy to support the report then? For the report to be adopted.
Chair, sorry to barge in, but Member Mare has been raising his hand for quite some time now. I wonder if it's an old hand or the new hand.
No. It can't be a new hand, but let me just finish. Honourable Maran was on the floor, so it seems to me that he can support the report now. Honourable
Yes,
Mare, over to you.
The way, what I heard Honourable Marang said was, he doesn't reject the whole report. He didn't say reject the whole report, but a certain clauses in the report, but not everything. So I do not know how it should be recorded.
Chair, can I respond?
Just distinguish? Yes, can I just distinguish between the vote, which is the money, and the report? And the question now is whether the report, as you see it in front of you, if we can adopt the contents of the report as you see it and as I've just read it into the record. Honourable Maran?
Chair, yes, you are correct. I don't have a problem with the report because the report is not a budget. Chair, yes, I have said there's some that we support and there's some that we don't support. But when it comes to a decision that should be taken, it should be yes or no. You can't say yes, I'm supporting certain parts, and no, I'm not supporting certain parts. I have said, Chair, that for now we did not support, and I gave reasons for that. I have also said, Chair, as we are going forward to the sitting, our view might be changed, but for now is to not to support.
Thank you, Honourable Bartman. I recognize your hand. Can I just point out that we are over time, Honourable Bartman?
Chair, it was just to support the report as you have requested. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. Honourable Maseko.
Jack, I'm seconding the support as Member Deirdre Bartman indicated.
Proposed.
Thank you, Chair.
Good. Thank you very much, honourable members. It seems then to me that the report itself, as you see on your screens, is unanimously supported. That is the report as we have it today. So, honourable members, thank you very much to each and every one of you, to Ms. Nikar, who quickly put the report together. Thank you very much. The report has been adopted, and this meeting is now adjourned. I wish you all well, and those members that need to join the next meeting at 9 o'clock, you will have to leave this meeting and log on again. And I hope to see you all. Can I just ask Ms. Nikar, because it's the same committee, can we stay on and just ask the officials to leave, or would it be better to rejoin?
No, Chair, it's a different link that was sent for the next meeting, because it's a different.
So we leave and we adjourn.
So you leave and you join.
Thank you very much again. Thank you very much. And to all that are not going to rejoin in 10 minutes time, I wish you all a happy and a great day and a wonderful weekend. Let it not be black in any way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair.
It's Black Friday, Chair. We want to go on shopping.